This is Hot Mike.
Hot Mike.
On the networks of WDAY.
WDAY.
Here's Dom Izzo. It's that time. An author.
Offensive production, number 1. Number 2. I forgot.
Golfer.
It'd be like going on a 3-person best shot, and we were saying, Kolpack, you got to make a 25-footer every time. You wouldn't putt first. I'd have Tim putt first.
And one heck of a TV personality.
This game is for the Cooper Cup.
It's the Forum's Jeff Kolpack.
4. I should have yelled 2.
All right, here he is, our guy, Jeff Kolpack. His appearances are brought to us each and every Monday by Northwestern Mutual. Great to see you, my man. How you doing?
1 second.
What's up? Yes. Oh, you watch? Yeah, you watched the game yesterday.
What
Yes.
is going on?
Don't even get me started. They had negative passing yards yesterday. So
Yeah, what is going on? How do you exist as a football fan?
I don't. That's why I've banned all their stuff to the corner.
It's when you think
terrible.
it can't get any worse, it gets worse.
I know, it's terrible. So, and I just read now Garrett Wilson has a knee injury, who after he was chewing out that football coach, which he should have because they couldn't do anything. It's not good right now. How you doing?
Good, you?
I'm all right. Getting
Yeah.
ready for another big week. We got the playoff rankings coming out on Wednesday. I don't know how much we'll glean from that, considering it's before the Dakota Marker game. I know there's another one coming later in the year, which is probably the one that we'll pay attention to, as we're going to do our first bracketology coming up on Saturday. Get ready for now the stretch run. We got 6 games to go.
I don't mind the rankings coming out now so much. I think the second one should come out before the last game of the regular season.
I'm with you there.
Instead of 2 weeks before, just so it adds a little more drama to that last week. You know where you're at. You know where you have to juggle if you're 9 or 10 and you're trying to get a top 8.
So the latest poll just came out before he came on. The Bison got 55 out of the 56 first-place votes out of the stats poll.
It's better than what it's been.
Yes,
So
I would say that is about as
they changed a couple people's mind here.
And that was my first thing I was going to say to you. How, I guess, authoritative or how defining of a performance was that Saturday to get people to say, all right, that was about as dominating a game as the Bison had Saturday.
So the last 2 wins have been against top 10 teams, and I feel like that just doesn't
register?
Yeah, it's not really a big deal anymore because it's really your top 4 or 5 that are, and they've separated already, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah. And the way that the Bison played Saturday, they turned a game that was 10-10 with 2 minutes to go in the first half, and before you turned, it was 24-10.
Yeah, you look at Southern Illinois, and they have a top 10 team in terms of the quarterback.
Yep.
I thought their receiver, Vincent Davis, was a top 10 team type of guy, and maybe a couple other players, but defensively it just didn't feel like.
We talked about that before the game.
This is not a defense of a top 10 team.
No.
And you look back to of yesteryear of SES when more of these programs are here, like JMU and all those guys, they had top 10 defenses. And I'm not seeing that this year.
No, that was something, again, trust your eyes, when we saw what Indiana State did to them the week prior. Like, all right, SEMO put some stats up on them too. Like, that's disconcerting, and that came home because no matter – take the turnover part out of it, they still didn't stop. They stopped the Bison twice in the first half was when we saw Bickerton. We didn't see him the rest of the game after that.
Yeah, one I think was when Peyton tripped.
Yes.
He was open, and that would have been a first down.
Yep.
So I just it's just the same old FCS feeling to me that it's just, after the top 4 or 5, there is a clear divide.
All right, we have a new segment we're starting this week because the Eric made a dynamite graphic for us to
I gotta
use.
see this.
So we're doing Kolpack's 3 stars after
it's like
each
hockey.
and every game. I know.
Yeah.
Well, you're that big a deal, so you can do that. So you can go ahead and give us what you got for your 3 stars this week.
Okay. Should we start at number 3?
It doesn't matter. You go whatever order. It doesn't matter to me.
Okay, let's just start with Keenan Wilson. He's my 3rd star.
Okay.
I thought he, in retrospect, made the play of the game when he popped the ball out of the quarterback, and the game was tied 10-10. Southern Illinois was driving, and here he comes.
That's the first play he made with him and Logan Larson
that's one of his
combining on
tackles
the
for loss.
sack. Yep.
But you go with DJ Williams here, and I just thought Southern Illinois had the look of somebody going down to take a halftime lead. And then
They were moving
and
again.
then Williams
Yep.
scrambles, and I don't know if we'll see it, but
You will after this
Yep.
play.
and Wilson knocks it out. Here it is. Boom. There. That's such a look at. They were on the doorstep to taking a halftime lead there. The Bison recover, and then they go the other way, thanks to Bryce Lanson. So there's my number 3 star.
Okay, number 2 you have is Cole Payton. Is your
Yeah,
number
just
2
because
star.
he's Cole Payton and he's what he's doing. Still number 1 in the country of all Division I quarterbacks with Pro Football Focus rankings as far as college performance by quarterback, and that includes everybody. Ohio State quarterbacks or whatever. Efficiency, it just continues, makes right decisions, and this is a play where you go, this is a little different. I mean, look at that. Number 3, you might want to know that this guy's a little fast and take a little better angle. I mean, and here's another one too. He gets another 6-7 yards just by leaning forward.
That run he had for the touchdown, just another one. And that throw to Reese Kessel was right on the money.
He
where
read
could
it
have been.
perfectly.
Yeah.
Read it perfectly.
He's just been even better than what you could have hoped for if you're a Bison fan, knowing full well that we're wondering about his ability to throw.
Yeah.
It's been answered unquestionably.
And I'll say my 3 stars, Bryce and Cole, 1A, I guess. I don't know how you separate them, but again, Bryce just had a game difference play at the end of the first half with that long 48-yard reception. And then here's the first play of the game, of course. Again, I wrote about this, and it's Christian Watson. I mean,
you're dead on about that, by the way.
He may not be as fast as Christian Watson, but he's pretty close. And it reminded me of the 2019 playoff game against Montana when Christian took the jet sweep and just blew by everybody.
This was the play at the end of the half right here. And the Bison didn't even take a timeout. Think about that. They recovered the fumble that Keenan Wilson forced. Then they go down the field in 58 seconds and score a touchdown.
Here's what I like about his reaction. Okay, he's down. It's not like looking up the crowd. Look at he gives it to the ref. We got to go.
Yep.
Where's the next play? And here it is.
And then what's the next play? It's a touchdown.
Yep.
So
and that's the mature receiver there. Not when he caught a long pass, wasn't doing anything to the crowd or whatever. It was like business, man. Where's the next play?
So the question to me, the stats aren't going to be overwhelming yet. But we're going to have the conversation not only about the quarterback, but the wide receiver, I think, is going to have to generate some Walter Payton conversation as well.
Yeah, how do you separate them, I guess? So I would go to the quarterback just because he has the ball more right now. It's just the way it is.
Bryce's per-game stats of what he's putting up, I mean, he combined for 154 yards Saturday, had 2 touchdowns. Just like what Watson did breaks the game open. Just that's – I know it's –
I can't discount what you're saying.
Yeah. It's not going to be, hey, he's going to have 200 yards and 3 touchdowns, but the impact he makes when he has the football, and then the Bison win out of it. I know the voters aren't going to do it, as I'm one of them.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard to
That's going to be the problem.
Have 2 Bison is one of the 3 finalists for the award, but, man, if they keep playing like this, how do you not?
And I think that Cole's only played into the fourth quarter twice.
Correct him undo.
This year.
Yep.
What if he played all 4 quarters?
Games? I know it. That's the thing on that. I want to give one other, honorable mention on your 3 stars, if I'm allowed to do that, for what the Bison O-line has done all season long. Again, they have, with 3 new starters, just wondering what that was going to look like, and none of them are upperclassmen. Bo Johnson's a sophomore. Tostin's a redshirt freshman that's getting out there. That they have gone, and Josh Magan never played offensive line in his life. He's a junior. They're rolling
and
right
don't
now.
forget the steady people in the front
Right.
with Fraley and Empey.
There's not a senior up there, folks, by the way, just to remind you as we're halfway through the season.
Cole's gotten time to throw.
Yes.
I mean, that's a big deal. You don't be number 1 in the PFF rankings across the country
Correct.
without having time to throw. It goes
Correct.
without saying.
Email comes in. Dom and Jeff, you talk about the Darius Givens play and what happens next. So, obviously, Givens was ejected from the game. There was no penalty on the play. That was a booth call down to the field to say that when we saw the initial hit, I grimaced because that might be, and we got the replay of it, and then they called down, and obviously they signaled for targeting.
Mm-hmm.
Now there's a new part of this, Jeff, that the teams can file an appeal, which I'm assuming has happened or will happen today, to send it in to see if he can actually play in the first half. Because as it stands now, Givens could not play the first half on Saturday.
I looked back at it yesterday and looked it over on the replay. I thought that was targeting.
Yep.
And I don't expect it to get overturned. If you overturn that, then, boy,
Yeah.
that leaves a can of worms. That was clearly targeting. Now, That being said, you miss the first half of the Indiana State. They're pretty deep. I mean, you got players back there with Crumby, just veteran guys that I don't think missing the first half against Indiana State will be the worst thing in the world.
Right, you'd hope not. I was trying to think back because I wrote this in the Sunday Slants column last night. The last targeting I remember was Jabril Cox. We got ejected.
Yeah, I don't remember. Yeah, I think you might be right on that.
He got ejected late in the game. It was a blowout. They were beating Northern Iowa. He got ejected, and remember he had to sit out the first half of the Marker game in Brookings the following week.
But I think that goes to the larger issue that with pro football, NFL starting it, that college football has picked it up, that addressing the overall issue of concussions has been a really big success.
Yep.
Now, when we're having trouble figuring out when the last time
that was 8 years ago,
targeting was, that tells me that the coaches have been teaching it, that they've been emphasizing it, that player safety has been an issue that's worked. I think hockey needs to figure that out with checking from behind. And I've said that on this show. That needs to be, checking from behind is dangerous. That needs to be, and as a former youth hockey parent, I can attest to you that I saw some collisions that just made me almost cry.
Yeah, it's not good.
That they need to don't do this 10-2 or 10-2. Make it you're out that game. If you get a checking from behind, you're gone that game, and you're gone
part of the next one
or the next game.
Yeah. Another email comes in. It's okay. Can you guys now fully evaluate how good this Bison team is halfway through? I guess I'll toss to you. What do we think? We're halfway through the season now.
I don't see a whole lot of difference from last year. Do you?
I think they're better defensively.
Well, I had that stat. Yeah,
than they were last year.
I'll give you that stat that I threw out on our pregame show on Saturday. Yeah. Through 5 games last year, Cam Miller and Cole Payton were identical stats. Both had 9 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. I think Cole threw for 30 more yards than Miller did at that point last year. Their completion percentages were almost identical.
No.
They are the same guy. And whoever saw that coming?
No. I would
when
say,
are we going to start talking about Cole Payton being an NFL prospect?
You want to do it now? Go for it.
Why? Let's do it.
I mean, the scouts were there not just to watch number 5. I think they have to wake up to the fact that the quarterback, not necessarily at a tight end spot, because I think that's where he was being projected to play. You got to look at him now as a quarterback. I would.
I think Tim said it on the coaches show last night that scouts would come in and talk about different positions for Cole, and Tim's like, well, what about quarterback?
Right. What about QB is right. Exactly right. I would say the one difference to me, and they got better, I thought, defensively as the year went on. Certainly talked about that with the secondary play. They've been on point, I think, almost from the get-go. And I know quality of competition in the first 2 games, but they shut down SEMO's electric guys. They certainly didn't let L.J. Phillips was the talk of FCS after he ran for 300 yards.
He had 68 or something.
He did nothing against the Bison. Illinois, Sobkowitz got open a couple times. He was it. Illinois State didn't do anything. And then we're talking about DJ Williams. Had a pretty pedestrian game. His other touchdown came against the Bison backups.
Boy, Donovan Wolin was pretty good against Southern Illinois, too. He was just so active and around everything. That one series where he made a difference on every play.
Yes.
3 straight plays.
That's what we're talking about. That guy's wingspan. He joined us on the postgame show afterwards again. That's a guy you cannot account for, especially against a guy like DJ Williams. I don't know if it's an even matchup, but he certainly can counteract what DJ Williams does.
Yeah, and let's not discount what Logan Kopp's done. He's just been so steady. Staling's been
really
good.
Really good. Yep. That to me that's been.
But the emergence of Keenan Wilson up front, it's really softened the blow of losing Cody Heisman to the portal.
God, they could be better than last year. Could we be talking about that?
Well, let's see. You got UND and South Dakota State coming up,
and that's the big difference.
Right,
and that's the big difference of the 24 schedule to the 25. Obviously, both those games are at home. You got to go to Grand Forks. You got to go to Brookings. That's a big deal because you look at the last 6, right? You got Indiana State this week, at the Jacks, home for Youngstown. We'll see, but they'll be favored by 2 to 3 touchdowns against Youngstown State. At Grand Forks, and then the last 2 are Northern Iowa and St. Thomas.
South Dakota State and UND, we believe, will be top 10 teams.
They could be top 5 teams
when they play.
Yeah.
So that'll make 4 opponents
right.
NDSU will have played who are top 10, top 9 or
right.
8.
So I mean, if you do that, I mean, there's no equivocation there.
I'm going to say this about defense: we'll see when it's on the road That's when
Correct.
you really need your D to
You're
shine.
absolutely right.
When you're on the road against those kind of teams.
UND has the biggie, and we talked about this with Sam in the first hour. Then we'll go to break. They've got to go to Carbondale this week. They get that one, then we're having a different conversation about UND's football. It's one thing to win against a bad Northern Iowa team on the road.
Yeah, that's SIU season.
Correct.
This week.
That's a big, and then they still have to go to Vermilion as well. UND has never won in the Division I era down in Vermilion, and then they have the Jacks and the Bison after that. So all the heavy hitters for UND are still to come. And remember, the Jackrabbits have the Bison at home, but they got to go to Vermilion too. No matter what USD is at, that's a rivalry game, man. They're going to take that one seriously. And Illinois State at the end of the year plays South Dakota State.
Where's that game at?
That game's in Brookings. That's the biggest difference there. They got to go. The Jackrabbits have the trip to Murray this week, and it's a night game.
Oh,
I know. Good luck to everybody down there for that one. Let's break. We got a bunch of emails coming in. We'll have Kolpack field them as we come back. Yeah, you can go ahead and toss it. Back on Hot Mic right after this. Welcome back, everybody. Jeff Kolpack joining us each and every Monday. Bison video blog coming up later today. We'll preview Indiana State. This is my 6th trip, so you've gone at least 7, I want to say, because the first time they were out there was 2009. And that was a bad Bison football team that year.
is that when we got locked into the stadium?
11. 11.
That was
when
11?
The great Steve Walker had another comeback for us that day.
Yeah, so people,
out of the stadium.
to backstory, so we're covering the game and doing our stuff post-game, writing stuff. You guys are doing what you do.
Yep.
And Steve Walker was doing some analyst stuff with us.
That's right.
And so we're getting done and we're leaving the stadium. And around Memorial Stadium is a huge iron fence.
Yep.
It's like the old WPA days. And so we're locked in. They locked the gate on us. And so we're looking at maybe we could take that ladder and go on top of the one-story locker room facility next to it.
That's right. Yep.
We were thinking about that.
Yeah, that didn't
we
work.
called the police, and they're like, well, no, we got other things going on. And also the Walker's like walking around, and he sees this lock on this, and he broke it.
Yes.
The guy threw an 80-yard touchdown pass to beat Cal Poly.
Yep.
He threw the one to Cole Heckendorf in the last second to beat Sam Houston. But his greatest feat was getting us and breaking us out of
Indiana
prison
State, out of
known as
Terre Haute.
Memorial Stadium.
Oh, man. There's some big Bison football memories there. That for us, Easton Stick's first career start came in Terre Haute in a downpour in 2015 when they won there. The game 3 years ago, if people don't remember this, that was a game. Remember I think Dom Ganella fumbled like 3 times. The game was a tight football game. They needed a late rally to go and win that. And that was indicative of that football team, that they were winning, but there were some warning signs around that team.
I'll give you a little history of this series. I think that was the last game Chris Board played safety. I think he was getting torched a little bit.
15?
I think,
Yeah, it had to be.
And so after that, they moved him to linebacker, and I think it worked out okay for him.
Okay, yeah.
As he's still making an NFL check.
Yeah, he's
I think
10 years
because he was a
in.
safety,
He started his career as a
and
safety.
I don't think it was working out
Yeah.
so well that game.
Wow. So there you go. Some little backstory with Indiana State. We got a few emails I want to get to that want to ask you about. Kolpack, are you open for a job now? There are 3 more FBS guys that got fired yesterday. So we're through 7 weeks of the season. There are 7 openings now. Trent Dilfer got fired yesterday. The guy at Oregon State, I don't even know who it was.
Bray.
And then
Something
he
Bray.
got fired. And then obviously James Franklin let go at Penn State yesterday.
$50 million they owe him.
$50 million buyout. Money is of no concern anymore
$50 million.
at the top levels. But here are the jobs that are open. UAB, Oregon State, UCLA, Virginia Tech, Oklahoma State, Arkansas, and Penn State.
Wow,
are
that's a
open
lot.
right
What
now.
about Wisconsin? How long?
Well, losing whatever they did by $1 million to Iowa, so that's adding up on there. There are going to be more. That's the thing, and it's, to take it here locally, if you're looking at the head football coach at North Dakota State, he's 20-2.
Well, you don't take anything. You don't take UAB. You don't.
No.
Yeah, there's
I'm
jobs you
looking
just
at-
don't take.
I mean,
I'm not so sure you take Oregon State.
Virginia Tech, you take. Vod Tech's that's a good program. You look at that. I mean, Arkansas is probably too high up the radar just because that's a good SEC school. That's probably unattainable. Obviously, Wisconsin, there's a lot of parallels there. That if that job opens, then that would make a lot of sense
I
here
don't know.
locally.
We'll see if any of these schools take an FCS coach.
Right. Because I mean,
It's hard to sell the press conference to boosters.
Who's Penn State going for? You know what I mean? Like, who are they?
Well, yeah, Cignetti's
that was my next point. So Kurt Cignetti, whose dad and him were both Pennsylvania legends, but Indiana University of Pennsylvania.
But he's 64 years old, so there's that.
Yeah, he's winning at Indiana, as McFeely brought up to us yesterday.
He's
winning at Indiana.
Anna.
Yeah, that's the biggie on that. Eric throws out Matt Rule. Matt Rule can't. You got to win at Nebraska first before you get to Penn State.
Oh, he's 5-1.
You got to beat somebody. Great, you beat Maryland. Beat Minnesota. They haven't been able to do that. Beat the Gophers, and then we can start talking about moving up the chart there. You look at these jobs. I mean, right now the presidents have no their self-awareness. They're, all right, if we want to make a move, we're going to do it. We'll find the check. We've got boosters that can do it. I mean, James Franklin, they were hosting College Game Day 3 weeks ago with Penn State. He was on the set with Saban talking about, and he's out of a job today.
It's just,
you know what I mean? It's crazy.
It's mind-boggling. It's almost, it's just bizarre. I don't know what the word is.
It is. It's quick. That's and the
they
word.
Were leading, and then he was within a good second half of moving in top 3, 4, 5 in the country, and then next month you're gone.
Gumzo. I got to give a shout out here. Guys, you want to give a shout out to David Braun in Northwestern, beat Penn State. Good job by the Wild. They had a tough year last year. They bounced back, had a really nice season at Northwestern.
22-21 was the score, wasn't it?
So give a shout out there to former Bison DC, David Braun. Another email comes in. Jeff, Code Green has given up 43 points all year when the game was competitive. The other 20 have been late with the younger guys playing. Starters are giving up 7 points. Is anyone going to hold Cole in this offense under 30? Peyton's numbers will be better than Trey's in 2019 and Cam's last year. He's only played one full game.
There's somebody who's doing some research.
Right? There you go. I mean, that right there, you read that, you give that to the voters, then it would be a slam dunk.
Can you send me that? I need to hire this person.
I'll forward that up to you as a frequent viewer to our show. But that should be taken in context as well. That the defense, I mean, the Southern Illinois touchdown was against the third stringers at the end of the game.
And they had their starters. DJ was still in the game.
And same with the USD game. Bowen was still in when it was 51-6 or whatever it was. Like, so they get a touchdown on the board against the Bison, so it wouldn't look as bad.
Nathan Hayes comes in and goes 3 for 3, and now look at his stat.
Nathan Hayes has played 5 games. The Bison have played 6. The backup quarterback has played in 5 games. That is outrageous.
Remember the Craig Bull days when you'd never stick his backup in? Remember we'd be up there like, hello, game. Craig, it's 41.
Would never get in the game.
41-7. Maybe put in number 11.
I think he knew exactly what he had. That was long before the era of the portal where you have to worry about.
Think he was hiding them?
Those kind of worries would come in there. Let's do one more. Talking about the playoffs. Jeff, how many Valley teams will make it in this year? Well, we know the 2, NDSU, SDSU. UND's
well, in the whole
in.
context of FCS, 5.
I think that's a good number. I think SIU will make it. I think the Salukis will.
They're still 4-2.
So that leaves between Illinois State and Youngstown State, who play each other this coming week.
Yeah, I guess maybe that'll go a long way.
Yeah, Youngstown's got to beat somebody. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like I said on the pregame show, I don't think they've had a big win. Maybe end of 22 when they had to beat Illinois State or Southern to get in the at least playoff potential there. They just haven't won big games over the years.
Do you think South Dakota has the horses to make it? Because USD has won now a couple in a row. So
looked pretty pedestrian against Indiana State.
Right, you watched the majority of that game. I know before kickoff.
I watched most of it.
That was a 19-14 USD win. Then they gave up 5 sacks to Indiana State. I mean, they still have to play the Jacks and they still have to play UND. And I know both those games are in Vermillion, but I'm not on board with that.
Nope.
I'd say you're right. I think 5 is probably the number on that. And if you know what, if you're not going to take an extra Valley school, take another Ivy League team now.
It doesn't help that you got your doors blown off by NDSU.
Right. Correct. And you lost to Lamar.
Yeah.
And I know Lamar's better, but don't do that. Also, quick shout out before we go. Northern Colorado won at Idaho. Did you see that on Saturday night?
I saw that.
How about for the Bears? They should have beaten USD. They could have a winning record right now. When's the last time Northern Colorado had a winning record in football?
Well, Ed McCaffrey, right? Does he?
No, he lost.
Oh, he lost.
Ed Lamb is
Ed Lamb
is the job.
He was at Southern Utah, though.
He was.
So
yep.
maybe he's turned it around.
Wow. Northern Colorado is good in football.
Mr. Ed. I knew it
What
was
are we
somebody
doing?
named Ed.
Great to see you, bud, and we'll see you this weekend.
Sounds good, Dom.
All right. Jeff Kolpack joins us each and every Monday. His appearances are brought to us by Northwestern Mutual. We'll break. We come back. We'll do our high school football rewind from last week. Some dynamite games and some important performances. We'll highlight those when we come back.